What does a driver do when the pay brought home, the pay from the actual delivery, is so low that the driver is contemplating if they can even make the delivery itself? What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Now, this is in relation to an Uber Eats driver coming from a Unilad article titled, "Uber Eats driver sparks debate after asking the customer for gas money." Already, right off the bat, the first way we're going to respond is don't do that shit, asking your customer for gas money. But I want you to listen to the details of this, because even though I don't believe hardly any drivers would engage in this type of unprofessional behavior, we all understand how a driver could find themselves in this predicament. Check this out. "I'm going to run out of gas money." This is actually something that was tweeted from the customer. Pope is the name of the customer, so you'll kind of get the gist of this. But the customer was so shocked at how the food delivery, the Uber Eats driver, was approaching them that he actually tweeted this out, and it has since went viral, hence this article. But I want to talk to you folks outside of what happened here, because I do believe it is something, it's a watershed moment on something that could happen to any of us drivers if we're in the wrong predicament or do not manage our business finances properly. But here is what the customer waiting for his food delivery tweeted out. The driver sent him a text message stating, "I'm going to run out of gas. Can you cash app me a few bucks for gas, please? I had no idea you were that far." Now, we've all had trips, whether food delivery or ride sharing, where the money earned just simply did not justify driving so many damn miles. Now, I do ride share, and I haven't done much food delivery, not a big fan of it, but I'm assuming that it is the same story because we read so many articles. I get folks in the comments, and that is driving way the hell out somewhere to make a delivery. Just like in ride sharing, whether Uber or Lyft, we drive way the hell out to take a passenger to their destination, and that whole drive back is at your own expense, which is why I strongly suggest any driver, whether ride sharing or food delivery, have a centralized area that you don't fucking go outside of, because the further you go away from that area, all of that trip back is going to be at your own expense. But here's a driver realizing how far away the customer was after already grabbing the food, which is an ultimate no-no. Know what the hell you're getting into before getting into it. But they continued back and forth. After the first set of text messages, Pope, who is the customer, says the driver actually called them 5 times. He tweets out, "This is harassment." So the Pope, the customer, sitting there waiting for his food to be delivered. He's getting a text message from the driver saying, "I need you to cash app me a few bucks in gas money," clearly ignoring the request. The driver, not being able to get a response via text message, is now physically calling the customer. And the customer, once again, is not responding. But listen to how it culminates. "I've arrived," the driver said. So the driver has now decided to complete the delivery without any assistance financially from the customer. So he did the trip anyway. Pope replied, "I don't feel safe taking the order." The driver replied, "Bro, just come get your food or text me the PIN and I'll leave it at the gate." So it sounds like he's in a closed, gated environment. He needs a PIN to get in. Anyhow, the customer, Pope, hits back, "I will not send anything." So even though the driver has made the food delivery, and is actually outside of his apartment complex or his home, the customer is still focusing on the fact that he asked him for money. And it's like, just because you came all the way out here, do not expect me to give you any money in terms of gas money to get wherever the hell you're trying to go back. He's sending them a message, "I'm not sending you anything." So it is what it is, but he's out there with the food, and he's telling them, just, come out here and get your shit. We ain't got to talk about that no more. Anyhow, the customer at a heightened sense of awareness after being asked for money, basically started threatening to call the police if the Uber Eats driver did not leave, and tweeted out a picture of his food that was left there at the complex on the ground. The customer said it was left there like garbage. Now, the driver should have never called him and asked for money. Obviously, that's unprofessional. Nevertheless, once he made the delivery, he's done his job. And if the customer wants that food, he should have gave him the PIN number and followed the normal procedure to receive his food. But because the driver was asking for him to cash out him a few bucks, and he pretty much gave the driver the cold shoulder, he's expecting some type of confrontation when the driver arrives. Even though the driver stated, bro, just come get your food. Give me the PIN number, and I'll leave it at the door. So the driver's making it clear, listen, I realize you're not going to give me a damn thing. It is what it is. Just come get your damn food. And the customer's like, I'm scared now. So anyhow, he did leave the food. You see in the picture, the food's just on the ground there. But it ended up getting to the likes of Uber. And Uber, of course, responded, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Behavior like this is definitely not okay. A member of our team is on top of this and will follow up with you through the app or through the Twitter or whatever, because it did go viral of sorts. Now, none of us are likely to do some shit like this. It's tacky as hell. It's unprofessional. But even though you realize this is unprofessional, as I stated earlier in the video, we all can understand how a driver struggling to, make any money at this, taking on some unprofitable trips. Because it doesn't matter if you're in food delivery or you are moving passengers from point A to point B. If you don't cherry pick your ass off, you're going to be doing trips, making food deliveries that are unprofitable. All of this shit they send us does not have a profit margin to it. Some of the things we can do for Uber Eats, DoorDash, fucking Lyft, Uber, can actually come at a loss to the driver. So if you don't know what the hell you're picking up and you just respond to any ping that comes through your phone, you're going to end up doing a lot of unprofitable shit. And it sounds like in this case, not only was the trip maybe profitable or unprofitable in this case, but it also seems like the driver is not properly managing his finances. Because at the end of the day, you should never find yourself completely out of fuel to the point where the next trip is the only source of income you have. That should not happen. I understand some of us may come out and leave our damn wallet in the house or misplace a debit or credit card. That's a different story. But in this case, this sounds like the driver was just fucking broke. They had no money on him at all. So you shouldn't be out here taking trips with $0 like this guy is doing. I mean, listen, folks, virtually no one is going to cash out a stranger some money. It's just not going to happen. Even if you were making a trip like this, a food delivery like this for a big business or something like that, and ask, it's just not going to happen. You have to depend on the tip, and hopefully you can cash out as soon as you could and get your hands on the money. But the whole gist of this is simple. Don't do unprofitable shit. Know what you're getting into before you get into it, to the point where you don't have to tell a passenger, or in this case, a customer, I didn't realize how far you were out. This is also why lack of transparency hurts drivers from the ride-sharing companies. Most of the history of ride-sharing, when we picked up passengers, we don't know where the hell they're going. That leads to bad customer service all the way around. You know how many damn passengers yours truly, I personally have put out of my shit because they wanted to go somewhere where it was not profitable for me to take them? I should know that. Us drivers should know where a passenger is going before they ever get in our vehicle. In fact, before you even start heading in a direction to pick them up, you should know where the passenger is going. You should know where point A and point B are located and how much you're going to earn from that. Now, the upfront pricing has tried to address that, but simply put, for the most of ride sharing, the time ride sharing has been around, I've been driving since 2014 off and on, we didn't know where a lot of passengers are going. You don't know it today. You actually click arrived and look down at your phone. You are now right there up on that passenger. Like I've stated, I've put passengers out of my vehicle, and I've been looking passengers right in the eye, just about to grab the door handle, and I drove off on their ass the minute I found out they were going to some neighboring town, some neighboring suburb. Have you ever had to do that? For all my veteran drivers out there, I'm certain that virtually anyone that's been in rideshare for even a month or longer has had to tell a passenger, I'm not going there. But what I want to hear from you is, have you ever had to do that to a passenger, and what was their response? Because some passengers expect you to deliver once you get there, and they don't give any credence or any respect to the fact that this is an independent contractor arrangement. We have the right to say no. Uber is not our employer. If we show up and we don't want to do something you're asking us to do, we actually have the right to say no. Most of these folks believe that I can get you fired through Uber if you say no to me, as if you're some type of peasant or some shit. And it leads to a lot of passengers, or in this case, a food delivery customer, recipient rather, feeling entitled. A lot of the customers we deal with feel like they are entitled. You should have to get out and help me with a bunch of laundry bags or all of this shit. I don't submit to it, but I want to know in the comments for you folks, have you had a trip where you found out once the passenger was actually in your car that it was unprofitable to complete that trip? Like I tell you all the time, going out of town where you got a 100-mile drive back or something at your own expense. Let your boy know in the comments. And until then, do not do unprofitable shit, and always know what you're getting into before you accept the trip. It's your boy Tim. As always, subscribe to the damn channel. Click the like button. See you in the next one.